Alrighty, folks, we're going to talk about 2026, but we're going to do it in a very interesting way. We're going to talk about what is our best case, what is our worst case, and what is our crazy call. We're going to talk about mortgage, real estate, and even acquisitions, because I expect a lot of competition in that space. We're going to have the conversation with Matt, the mortgage guy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Mike. This will be a fun one, just to make some wild predictions. Maybe we'll come back in a year and be like, oh my gosh,
let's
that
react.
crazy bull case. I said it out loud. I didn't think it would come true. And then, end of 26, we might record one that says, I guess we put that in the universe and something happened.
Yeah. So here's the first one. And again, I'm trying to think of the most crazy question. So I'm going to ask you to guess, and I'll do the same thing. And by the way, you can ask me questions too, so we can go back and forth.
Okay.
But let's go to mortgage rates first. And I don't want to talk about the average mortgage rate. I want to talk about the lowest print of a 30-year mortgage rate. And I'm going to say business. What is that? Mortgage Business Daily or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Mortgage News Daily has their average rate.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about what is the lowest number that we touch in 2026. We only have to be there one day, but I'm curious, what does your gut say the lowest? And again, give me what you think, then give me two crazy calls, one on the high end, one on the low end.
Okay, so this is not like somebody bought the rate down. This is the average.
No, just average, par, I guess you would call it.
Okay, I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you a crazy call,
yeah.
And maybe even some, what ingredients would be needed for this crazy call to come true. Because I think the lowest we'll see in 26. Right now, it says 6.27%, 30-year fixed
for context
across the nation, right? So as we sit mid-December 25, 6.27%. I think the lowest we see is 5.75. Okay. I don't think we move lower than 5 3/4 as an average, right? Of course, people are going to be buying stuff down to 4.99 and all that, but that's the most likely scenario in my head, that we don't go down by more than 0.5%. Now, if the new Fed chair comes in and they are, wild and crazy, and or somebody's in their ear encouraging them to, do something drastic like 50-point rate cuts, and if that alongside of, we're seeing jobs numbers, we're seeing some stuff that the economy's got cracked. So it's not that wild to think that, economic data, Fed policy, and other things affect mortgage rates to the downside. In the wildest scenario, I'm thinking in real time of like, how wild do we want to go? because even if I say it, like it hurts me to even say it, like mid 4%. So I'll call it 4.5. I wanted to say 4.99 sounds pretty ludicrous, but let's say the 30-year fixed rate mortgage gets all 1.75% lower, and it's at 4.5 sometime in 2026. That would take some major economic things happening and whatnot, but why not? Let's put it out there.
All right. So I'll go slightly higher, I think, on both. I think the lowest print we have next year is closer to 5.82. So a couple of points, couple of bips higher than where you were, but not much. I think the craziest I can see is like 5.15, 5.2. I couldn't imagine an average at 4. If that happened, it would have to take a recession. It would have to take an unemployment rate at 6.5 or higher, and probably the Fed buying MBS.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, which I don't know that, I don't know if it's on the radar for 2026. So again, that's interesting. So we're both about, let's call it an average of 5.8 for the lowest next year. And the thing to me that's interesting about that is that variation from where we are today, 6.2 to 5.8, that's actually a pretty tight band. And, it's going to help affordability a little, but nothing crazy. So now let's go to transactions, existing home sales specifically. So not new home sales, remove those from the equation. Existing home sales. And let's say that in 2025, we do 4 million, just so the math is easy. How many do you think we do you know, what's the number? What you think is most likely? And then give me a crazy call on the upside.
Okay. I'm an optimistic guy. So my prediction on what's going to happen is optimistic, and I'll warn you in advance, right? 4.5 million is like a 12% increase. That's pretty optimistic, right?
That's pretty optimistic.
But I think that there's some tailwinds and some optimism, and plenty of stuff on the other side with job numbers and stuff where there's headwinds as well. But I'm just going to put 4.5 out there. I want it to happen. I want real estate to move. I want transactions, and I know there's other people in higher places than me that might have some influence in creating stuff that helps more real estate move in the craziest of all circumstances. Whether it's legislation, whether it's these crazy scenarios where rates, if rates go low fives, like it would be game on for real estate. And I think with that, and with a lot of debt service coverage ratio loans and somewhat creative investor loans out there, it would be wild, and it would take a convergence of a lot of things, but reaching 5 million would absolutely be the wild.
That would be wild. That would be wild.
Is, a 25% increase. Not likely, but that's the crazy pie in the sky guesstimate.
Yes. Yeah. So we're definitely not even in the same ballpark on this one. I think my best case call is like 4.25, kind of half where you were, kind of 7% is where I'm at for the year. And then my crazy call is your base case 4.5. I think seeing a 12% pop in transactions in a year that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. That's a lot. Again, that would be about the outside. Now let's do mortgage volume. I don't really know how to count this because it's purchase and refi business. I don't know what in the mortgage business, what's that called? Loan origination? Is that what it's called?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They'll measure, how many.
What do you think? Yeah. What do you think loan originations? Give me a number. What are we going to do this year? You just ballpark it, like 5 trillion, 4 trillion? I have no idea.
I don't know if it's that much. How much? I'm gonna type it in because I don't want to guess. How much loan origination volume in 2025? This is we're like the PBD podcast and these other big podcasts where we just pull it up live on the spot.
There you go.
2025 is projected to see significant growth, exceeding 2 trillion. Yada, yada, yada.
All right. So let's call it 2 trillion just so we can make the math easy.
Okay.
So again, what do you think is the most likely? Again, total volume. So this is purchase and refi.
Yeah. And I think that number's accurate.
All right. So we did 2 trillion in 25. What do you think we do in 26?
Man. This one, like it's so funny how everything revolves around mortgage rates.
Yeah, true.
The volume of transactions, obviously because it's felt like a desert in refinance land for years, and that could change real quick. My guesstimate for truly what we're going to see in loan origination is probably similar to my optimistic outlook on transactions, up 10%.
Okay.
So
you go 2.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which I'm seeing different numbers online. Like MBA reported something where it's going to be 2.3 trillion in 2025. So 2 trillion.
Say up 10%. So you're
10%. If rates do go down like a full percent, let's call it 5.25.
Woo!
That would just unlock so much refinance.
Millions of refis.
Probably unlock a certain portion of move up buyers. It would unlock a lot of stuff. In that case, you could see a 20 to 25% increase in loan origination easily, right? Like that might not even be enough. You could see loan origination go up by 30% probably. So whatever that number is for 25, whether it's 2.3 trillion, a 30% increase is
so your 10% kind of best, your best guess, your best estimate is 10% and your upside is 30%.
Yeah, 10 and 30. So the numbers.
How wild is this going to be? I am more optimistic about the mortgage business than you are.
Yes.
This is so. I think my best guess for origination is up 20%, so double
Wow.
yours.
Wow.
And I think there's every chance in the world that if we get to the low fives, that loan origination goes up 50%.
I
think
haven't
there's
looked at those
just
numbers in a long
pent up.
time, but I'm going to look back, because I think the best years were in the 4 trillion range or something.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
So if we go from 2.3 to 3, we're 75% of some of the volumes we saw in 20 and 21. I don't know. I'm going to look at them.
But yeah, I think there's a 3 handle. I think the best case is a 3 handle. Even if we assume, the 2.3 is the number. So yeah. And the reason I say that is I've been studying the consumer forever. We've been operating in a world for 3 years, to your point, where refis have been, not really done. And I think the longer we keep rates where they are, the memory of lower rates fade, life events happen, and more people will go, hey, I got to pay off my credit cards or my this or my that. And yeah, it's going to be, it's funny. I did not expect this going into this conversation.
And I'm an optimistic guy. Well, what's funny, Mike, is my optimism, and I've heard you say it too, and you agree with me here, is that even if loan origination only goes up 10%, half of the loan originators are gone.
Yeah.
So your mortgage production should double, just based on the fact that
exactly
that half of the people are gone. And I'm seeing that more than ever, where sometimes the fish are jumping out of the water, right? I don't even got to put my pole in the water. Like, oh, hey, I'm
need a little help.
A loan originator like a trust, because the 2 that I've worked with in the past both retired. They're both gone. And so, that'll be interesting to see. I just looked it up just for the viewers too, because I was making some guesses. Peak loan origination in 21 at about 4.5 trillion. Then in 22, it went down to 2.75. In 23, it went down to 1.5 trillion.
Wow.
That seems,
that's when Powell said pain is coming.
Yeah. And then 1.7 trillion in 24, and then 25 is expected to surpass 2 trillion. And by Zuber's estimates, we are going to crush in 2026.
There you go.
Back up the trucks, baby.
Well, there you go. Let's go to the last one, price. Again, we're going to talk median home price. We're not talking Texas, not talking Florida. We're talking across the country. I don't know, Case-Shiller, whatever it is. Median home price for 2026 will be up or down. Again, let's do this one, your base case, your high end, and your low end. Let's do 3 guesses on this. What's your best guess? Then what's the high and what's the low?
Okay. So first, my base case, and really being in it and seeing people, exaggerate one way or another. Doomers exaggerate that we're going, and others are too rosy, where they're like, we're going to see 6 to 8% appreciation. My base case, for all intents and purposes, is flat. Yeah. I'm just going to call it 0%. Because honestly, if someone shows me a negative 0.6 or a plus 0.8, that's flat. That is
same as same.
Prices are the same. What people should remember though, is that even if, national home prices are flat, you're going to see between December and May, June, an uptick. Right. And then as things cool down in the winter, a downward trend. So,
you mean seasonality, Matt? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which to be honest, I didn't really get a grasp for seasonality until 5 or 6 years ago, when I was 6 years into my mortgage. And I was like, oh, so it's not just up 6% on year. It goes up 10 and then traces back 4. And that's how we get to 6. That's interesting. So, admittedly, that seasonality thing, if people don't understand it, I forgive them, because it took me a while to grasp it. So 0% being the base case, in the rosiest of rose covered glasses. And this is something that, surprisingly, as someone who owns real estate, I root against, right? I don't want home prices to go up. I just don't. I don't need it in my personal net worth, statement to reflect. And so I think that's 6% is okay. I don't see even, and that's rates come down, demand comes back, people go crazy, but there's not that much room on
Yeah,
to go up in price. So if you're hoping for a 10% appreciation year, I think you're dreaming. I think 5 or 6 is the upper end of it. And worst case scenario, you know, we lose demand because jobs and the economy, and we're in a recession, and there's, you know, buyer sentiment is down, rates are sticky and they stay at 6%. In those cases, you know, I could see 4 to 5% home price, you know, decline.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be the most unhealthy thing in the world, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll do mine real quick as we wrap this one up. I think my best guess for 2026 is up 1.2%. Again, basically flat. I've been calling flat for years, so no surprise there. I think the most rosy picture that I can imagine is probably up 3.1, 3.2. To your point, I just don't think there's a lot of, and again, we're talking national. Yes, you'll have some markets up 10%, but when we talk nationally, there's just not that much. And then on the downside, you know, price elasticity is a thing. I just can't see enough wave of forced sellers. So I'll go worst case. The reverse of my best guess, which is negative 1.2. So again, up 1.2 is my best guess. My crazy upside is 3.1, 3.2, and my downside is negative 1.2. So for all intents and purposes, flat. And there you go. Matt, where can people find you?
Go to mtmg.com, get connected with me and the team. You can book a call. You can ask questions. Go to mtmg.com and start chatting with live chat. That was fun, man. Thanks for that one today. I can't wait to look back in December of 26 and see what was true, what was way off, and what we nailed.
There you go, folks. mtmg.com. Give it a look. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks, Mike.